before we do get into that, we'll talk about the Nintendo Direct. Even if my sleep was normal and I had the energy stream, there's no way I would have streamed it because it was an hour long. And it started at 2 p.m. And as I've mentioned before, I have to stop around 3 to get ready for work. So it'd be very silly to watch the Direct and then have to immediately stop stream and not have any thoughts on it. And then we just get that shitty memory. I'm gonna go to their Twitter because they have like small lists of the different stuff announced. Because the first thing that they showed was what was it now? My brain's drawn an absolute blank. But as far as the hardware stuff goes, it's kind of neat. It is what you expected, a slightly more power. It's like similarly a more powerful system, and it seems like, because originally I think it was more like rumors than anything, that it was going to be somewhere on par with the PS4 Pro. But if it's been able to play, because they released a lot of like third-party games, which I feel like that's what most of this launch is going to be is third-party and port enhanced versions of old Switch games and cross-gen. Maybe at launch, maybe we'll see how this year goes, because it's actually coming out in June. Like I said, when I saw it was going to be June, I said that can't be right. Not 2 months after the Direct, but no, sure enough, it is going to be June. So yeah, like the dock stuff doesn't bother me, because like a lot of people, I saw some people complain that the handheld mode is not an OLED screen. It's bigger, it's a bigger screen, but like and better resolution, 1080p that is. But I don't really play handheld. I'm more docked because I don't go anywhere. Well, I do go out, but mostly on my bike, and that's not when I deal with I want to switch my bike. There goes my brain. But that is pretty cool for those who do want that, like higher resolution and frame rate and stuff. The thing that surprised me though is that docked it can do 4K, which I was really surprised at. I thought they weren't going to do anything 4K related, which like I said, it might be somewhere like on the Series Series S specs, because Cyberpunk and Elden Ring being on it might indicate that. But everything is like just larger. Joy-Cons are larger. Which is good for me because I have like fucking huge hands. The likelihood of me ever having to hold a Joy-Con sideways is very unlikely, but it's very unlikely, so it doesn't matter to me. But there's the mouse mode, which is interesting because, like I said, I'm looking at some of the stuff now. I guess we could just bring up the whole thing and maybe go through bits and pieces of it. That might be better. See if I can find it, because me just staring over here is pointing at me. We can like thumb through some of bits and pieces of it. Because it should be still in my watch history. Because it was like an hour long. Huh. That's weird. It's like my watch history on YouTube. I guess I could bring up the Twitter page. That's still just as good. That's weird. It should be there. There it is. So it's just... oh, they even got timestamps for different things. That's handy. Let's drag this over here. Because this would be like a better way of doing this. And we can just like go through and have my thoughts on it. I was going to like react to the whole thing the next day, but all of it was just going to be all across the internet. So it was just... I thought to myself, there's no bloody point to that. So let's just go here, and we'll mute. I don't know. I mean, we could still have the BGM, background music being played, because At the end of the day, I'm just going to be like going through the different stuff. There's no reason to have audio, have that. But yeah, so that's why they started off with. That's why they started off with Mario Kart, which, to say the least, has had some issues where. This random tangent though. I hate the fact that people are so stupid to not look stuff up, or they just want clicks on the internet because it's going to cost the entirety of the internet. That the games are 80 to 60, 80 to the 80 for $80 for digital, 90 for physical. It's just Mario Kart that is. Mario Kart World is 80 and 90. Donkey Kong Bananas isn't. Which means there's a good chance there might be a case-by-case basis with Nintendo. That some games might be more than others. Maybe based on game development or something. Which I always felt like games should be priced based on the production of the game. Because in this, from what I can gather, like from the trailer and the stuff they showed here, it looks like it's like open world-ish. Like there's normal track stuff and there's like free mode. How was it? Like, yeah. Oh. But yeah. Anyway, where was I? The Mario Kart game looks like it might be like open world-ish. That to certain segments, which is interesting to say the least. Well, my brain went completely dead on me because I lost track of my thoughts. Oh well, people know about the. The price, and that's right. Like I generally feel like it might be a case by case basis because here in the UK, Mario Kart World is £67.99 pounds and £74.99 physical, which isn't too bad for me. But I was still quite surprised in the pricing of the console because it's $395.99 here in the UK for the normal version, and the bundle version, which is basically it's £430 with which is clever on them because if you bought them separately, it would be more expensive. So they are really like trying to get you to like buy that bundle. Because they showed everything, I was like, this is gonna have to be more than that. So it being like just under 400 here in the UK, this is pretty good. Then there was the voice chat, and that was the other thing, which looking at it, oh god, here we go, loading again. Oh god. Good. Okay. It looks like Discord. They basically made Discord in the on the Switch, which makes a lot of sense. A lot of people want to pop a voice chat. And I get why they do want to do like how normal games are, because there's weirdos on the internet. So having it linked to either the people you have on your friends list is at least a good idea on their part. I'd say at least, and it also comes with a camera, which the camera isn't too badly priced as well, also because it's £50 here in the UK. I don't know why the video's having trouble loading, and then because the mouse mode is going to be the most interesting thing. That's what does interest me the most, is the mouse mode. Like, what use case is it going to be used for? How much is it going to be used for? Is it going to be used for the first like couple of years of the game, or is it going to be or is it going to be like the some games are, some games aren't. Most like first party, like what's the idea for it? Like they showed that one game, which was like some like basketball game, which was interesting. That used it. One thing I will give more so credit on is pricing aside. Like when it comes to games, it does suck for like the USP. I do like kind of feel for them, but like you don't have to get them at launch. Now I know Nintendo games if rarely go down in price, but I'm sure there's like sites that sell them cheap because I've mentioned the site I use a lot. Unfortunately, it's only UK based, called hit.co.uk, and they tend to sell games physical games at release, cheaper, and it's free delivery. Not hugely, usually like £8 to £10 difference, but that's something at least. I don't want to sing forever load, but the other thing was like the where is it? The I'm trying to find. I mean, it's all listed. It should go down. Switch to, is this it? Oh yes, this is about that. Like, what's interesting about these are basically enhanced versions of the games. There's going to be 2 versions at launch because like they mentioned, like both the new Pokemon game and Metroid Prime 4 are going to be on both systems, but the other version is going to have more enhanced visuals. But they're also doing old games with Switch versions. But rather than do what most companies do and just do enhanced visuals and call it a day, they're adding stuff to it, which I think is kind of cool. Either it would be like with the Mario Jamboree, where they're adding new games that use the new functions, or with the Zelda one, which they didn't really show all of the functions on here. There's actually a longer video for this. It's not just like Google Maps, which basically has like a companion app that uses on the phone. Which is pretty cool. There was other stuff like on their Twitter. It showed like stuff like being able to share. If you use Tears of the Kingdom, for example, you can share your creations to other people online, and they can use those kinds of things. Having like medals, achievement system that is just on the phone. So it makes me wonder: are they finally caving in and doing their own achievement system, but they're going to have it on the phone instead of on the console? That's interesting. There it is. Not that. Where was it? I went right past it. Yeah, this was it. This game with like the wheelchair basketball thing. This seems neat. But then a lot of third-party games, a lot of ones that made me think. There's one thing that made me think: the fact that both Elden Ring and we said this, Elden Ring and Cyberpunk are going to be running on this, makes me wonder. So I have a theory, a game theory. So GTA 6 hasn't had a release announcement yet, has it now? And I know this is out there, but maybe they haven't released the release date because maybe, just maybe, it's coming to Switch 2. And you're gonna say, how's that gonna run on that? The fact that Cyberpunk can shows that. I think a lot of people seem to forget that the difference between the last console generations, you know, Xbox One and PS4, weren't such a giant leap to the current systems. The fact that EA was able to put Star Wars Survivor on last gen consoles shows that the difference between them isn't that much. And considering the Switch 2 looks like it's probably even on the lines with like Series S, just saying, could have GTA 6 on the Switch 2. Could. But either way, even if it isn't, I'm going to be playing on like PlayStation because I love my trophies. So I'll third party. But third party, being honest, doesn't really matter to me because I'm going to play on PlayStation, on my PlayStation 5 because I prefer trophies. But it's cool that it's going to be thing, because what it shows is that for the first time in a long time, we could end up having third-party games being day and date on the Nintendo console in a very long time. So that's kind of exciting to see. But the other thing, what's the other thing? Actually, Prime does look good. What was it? Elden Ring. Oh, there's a list of the games. Elden Ring, Hades 2, Street Fighter 6. I think we will see a lot of that. Games that came out in the last couple of years being ported over. Hogwarts Legacy. Now, tech that was on the base Switch. But there's actually already a new game there, as you see listed there. Tony Hawk's Plus 4-1. That's going to be on there as well. Borderlands 4 is that's a game that's surprisingly going to be on there. What is it? And there's Kirby Air Ride, which like a lot of people are excited about. That's cool. The Donkey Kong game though looks actually pretty good too. Like I have not actually touched a Donkey Kong. I don't think I've actually ever played a Donkey Kong game, but this looks pretty dope. It's basically Donkey Kong, but if it was my brain's drawing a blank on me now. Odyssey. It was like Mario Odyssey. But where's the... Because the thing that did excite me the most, which is a weird thing to be excited about... what else was it? Was the GameCube stuff, basically. The fact that GameCube... Because I've not actually upgraded to the Plus one yet, because there hasn't been a reason for me. Originally, it was going to be if they added... the Pokemon games to the Game Boy Advance one, but the man in GameCube, because they show the games that are going to be at launch don't really interest me, because with Wind Waker I'd rather play the HD one, because although I never played the original version of it, I know that there was issues with the original version, and the remake they did fix those issues, so I'd rather play the remake. But they showed the lineup, and Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is going to be on there, and that is exciting because Pokemon Colosseum isn't too expensive to get hold of, but the sequel is like, it ranges between like 70 to like £100, which is a lot. So that being there is going to be awesome. So that means I'm going to put... Oh, I drank that too quickly. Oh yeah, and there's also Final Fantasy Remake, the integrated one, which had the DLC, which means maybe Rebirth. I said, first party stuff doesn't really matter to me, because I buy a Nintendo console for the first party. But overall pretty good, pretty solid. The new hardware stuff is going to be interesting, because the dock itself also isn't just like a shell just to put it to TV. It has like a fan system to cool it down. So that's going to be, the tech side of it's going to be interesting, to say the least. But I think I said this, but if I did not say this now, I could easily see the launch lineup being mostly ports of old Switch games, enhanced versions, cross-gen games, like with games being on both, like with Pokemon and Metroid, and maybe that, and third party, and that might be it. Because I think a lot of people seem to forget the reason the Switch had such a huge launch games and launch window games that came out within the first year, was because they were coming off of the Wii U, which was a big failure, and they needed to get people in. And what better way with, hey, here's a 3D Mario game, here's a oh god, there goes that brain of mine. Here's a new no, I was gonna say Smash Bros, but that was the following year, which would be interesting to see what. But what's interesting, to say the least, is what next year will also be. I'm not saying there won't be any like first party games. I think most of them would be like that basketball game fun like party games that utilize the new systems, new features and stuff. Granted, it is coming out in June, so they might announce other games coming down the line, which also makes me wonder if Metal Gear Solid Delta will be on it. Because, like I said, if this is running on even Series S hardware or even PS4 hardware, the difference between the last console generation and these isn't that huge of a leap like it used to be. So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities for them to be able to put it on the Switch. Yes, it will look a little bit less probably detailed, but it's not going to be like a giant difference like with Mortal Kombat 1, which was so hilarious. The fact they put that on the Switch, and dear God, the faces on those. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, because of course, like Summer Game Fest is in June, so who's not saying they might announce more games come out there throughout the year. But it wouldn't surprise me if Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon are their holiday release games, of them being on because they're going to be on both. But we'll have to wait and see. But for me personally, I don't see a rush to get out at launch. I'll try to, because let's be honest. I think the bundle is going to be the one that's going to be out of stock the most. They are going to try and give out scalpers, bullshit apples, but it's one of those things. If I'm not able to get it at launch, not the end of the day for me. Because like for what is announced, is like they're cool. I mean, the Donkey Kong game's not out until the following month either way. But it's definitely one of those ones. If I get it at launch, cool. If I'm not able to get a pre-order for it, then not the end of the world for me. But it is exciting, to say the least. It does suck the price difference with the games in the US, but like I said, if you look, it's just Mario Kart World, so it might be a case-by-case basis with the games. They might not all be $80 to $90. But it doesn't seem to affect the US, because I was worried about that, at least here in the UK, because when games went to 60 to 70, it did the same in the UK, because the price difference with games here in the UK isn't same parity with US. Because when games were $60, here in the UK they were around 50 to 55 pounds. Games have gone steadily up here in the UK, because I'm pretty sure PS3 games were like 40 to 45, and then PS4 was 50 to 55, and that was why when we got to PS4 and PS5 was, well, that's why I was shocked that they were parity with the US and same price a bit. Doesn't seem like that's the case there, but obviously we know why it isn't, and let's not get too much into politics, to say the least. I need to fix this, because this is still staying, and usually that's supposed to disappear. Like I said, I've been feeling, because I found out about Stream Elements and been fiddling around with their systems for like the chat. And this is supposed to disappear, isn't it? Not stay there. After a certain period of time. Right? I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I think that's basically everything. Once again, it's going to be interesting to see what other games might end up being announced, because like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this is all we get and they're saving the rest for next year. But it coming out in June says otherwise, so we'll see what happens. And hopefully the pricing isn't too bad on future games as well, because they haven't shown the pricing for like the third-party games either yet.